they've finished outside of top 8 in only 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how consistently great they have been. And
Chag's
that's
a
what
killer.
Hellflex is going to have to match up here against their own character.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, to see the Palutena Dittos. It's almost like the Palutena Ditto for Ultimate is almost like a Fox Ditto in Melee, just because of how prevalent this character is, how strong they are all across the board. They're kind of like the standard for, are you a good enough character? Like, are you better than Palutena? Are you close to Palutena? That's how you know if a character is pretty much good, because this character's absolutely cracked out. As you can see, these two are going to be going at it. 2 of some of the best of them.
I mean, this game is, all things considered, it's balanced, right? Like, it's just in comparison to some other games that we could mention in the fighting game scene. But then again, Palutena is probably, if you had to point to one character that has defined what the meta is more than any other character, it might be Palu.
Right. Yeah, man, this character, again, it absolutely super good. There's got great aerials, great tilts. Well, the tilts are okay, but like they got such a strong game. They've got speed. They're not super light. They got kill options like that right there. Well played by Chag to be able to take out this first stock pretty quickly.
Yeah, and immediately just going right in on it with the Nair's cut, caught in the wheel. It keeps on turning. Hellflex. I don't know where they'll be tomorrow, as they can't keep this up. And indeed, the efficiency upon landing from Chag, turning garbage into gold, so easy to get out of the disadvantage for them. And Hellflex has a lot to improve upon here, but also a lot to learn from.
Yeah, there we go, man. Chag trying to continue to put on this pressure as soon as Hellflex goes right off stage there. Trying to go for that down throw into the backer, not going to be able to find it, and then going for the ledge trump. The pressure that Chag puts down is absolutely insane. Like, I feel like we've seen this like from other people who know how to really make Palutena shine, but the way that Chag's been doing it, again, like you mentioned, for the past 6 months to a year now, it's been top-notch, it's been on a whole nother level. This person they were already super good offline, right? But I feel like they've evolved to that other level in online, like you were saying. And we're seeing it right before us right now.
Yeah, but now as we're getting into this is someone who actually wound up beating... Oh, wow. I mean, yeah, may well be beating Hellflex in this game number 1. Of course, can't really bar anything in this game, but sitting there at ledge, both of them trying to establish these nairs, but, I mean, Flex has just been gotten the best of them in terms of positioning. You see him moving in just a little bit too often, and Chag showing so much patience, knowing exactly where Hellflex is going to be. But I'm probably one of the Palus you studied. You think I don't know what you're about to do, cousin?
Yeah, man, it's just, again, it's like I was saying, this pressure from Chag is top-notch. Definitely among the best to do it in the past year, and they're going to continue to be good. But look at this. We're 3 minutes in, and now Hellflex is getting their first stock. Like, that's how dominant Chag has been here. Just continuing to pile on this damage, being elusive as well, long enough to not lose a stock for 3 minutes. That's insane to think about.
Hellflex is able to take the stock, but oh my gosh, CHAG with the JV3 on Town and City. You thought you were safe on ledge. No, come on. I have this shield. Go ahead and check your left wrist. It is on yours as well. And yeah, that's going to be game number 1. Chat. This is just textbook Palutena play, and Hellflex has done well to get to this point. Like, we can't take anything away from their run, and certainly not away from their recent tournament result, where they're doing relatively well, finishing just outside of top 32s and occasionally just outside of top 8s in a lot of tournaments, and beating some relatively decent players along the way. In fact, they have a win over Sharp when they were playing Sephiroth, and of course Nuke DDD. Just because there's a couple pretty decent wins, but
right,
Chag might just be a little out of their depth.
Well, it's like you said, man. It's like when you are going against one of the best Palutenas, like you said, who knows? Hellflex probably has watched Chag been dominant and like started watching some data, like, okay, what are they doing that I'm not, that I can do better at, right? So they probably watched some of Chag. I mean, and why not, man? If someone's competing at the top level of a character that you play, you want to watch them. You want to see what they're doing right. You want to see how they're handling matchups you might struggle with and try to apply that to your gameplay. But the problem is that when you try to be someone else, they kind of know what you're doing, like, because that's what they would do. So we'll see if that's definitely the case. You know, Hellflex might have some of their own tricks up their sleeve. And, you know, I don't know if they definitely watched any of the video on Chag, but Chag is continuing. Look at this. Already at 113, 40 seconds in. Probably going to take the stock very soon, too. Look, oh, the Trump. They've been on, like, on top of these ledge trumps so much, but just barely missing it right there.
I mean, just because you've seen most of what they've seen doesn't mean that you know most of what they know. And that is kind of the problem, isn't it? Hellflex, proven to be pretty capable throughout this bracket thus far, but yeah, you gotta know, you grabbed there, you didn't even mash out of that, kinda know Palu's back throw, it's pretty good.
Right. And we will see how everything
few
develops.
times in Jersey, shoutouts Gons.
We'll see what happens as this game starts to develop more. And it's like, that's the other thing about Dittos in general, right? I wouldn't even consider Dittos to be even. Like, you know, like a Palutena, I guess a Palutena should be even in theory, right? But this really just comes down to which player has the better skill at this point. Like, it doesn't matter about how they compete against each other. It's who does better with this character. Because it's not like you're trying to play a certain way around them. Like, maybe they'll have a certain play style towards it. Maybe they'll be a little more passive. But it generally just comes down to how the players execute their game plan. And Chag just continues to be a beast.
Yeah, and this is also not even to mention, like, there's just so many different ways to play this character that can really mix you up. I would never say that the Palutena of, you know, Jen or Nairo, Utopian Ray, it would be anything like the Palu of Chag, though certainly can be about as dominant as we're seeing here. 89% all three stocks, and Hellflex on their winner's side life here.
Yeah, it just continues to pile up, man. All this damage, and look, we're getting around to that 2.5 minute mark here where Chag has not lost a stock yet. So it's looking like an absolute copy of game one. I mean, it all depends if Hellflex can find a way to take this stock, but right now it just continues to be a story of Chag being an absolute beast and Hellflex just trying to find a way to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one way to do it is to come back on the Angel platform. Unfortunately, you don't really have that luxury anymore, and you had two other chances before this. Putting them at the ledge, looking for these, but Chag playing just a little too elusively. Okay, the teleport to the other side. Chag, I feel like they're just kind of showing off a little.
Maybe. I mean, there we go. That's gonna be it right there. And then you know what?
Yeah.
It's probably, I would say a lot of these players are just trying to play their best. They're not trying to mess around a little bit because, like we all are aware, there is a not just a cash prize at the end of this tournament, but there is a Summit qualifier spot. So I feel like everyone's coming in here trying to play their best, trying to be ready to just absolutely kill it from start to finish. And I mean, right there, that's a good example why. It looked like Chag was playing some of their best possible. Like Hellflex, no offense, but just doesn't look like they were ready for it. It's because Chag's trying to make sure that they're good once they hit that top 8, because the competition only gets more tough from here.
Yeah, and I think really at this point, just considering what they've been able to do throughout the month, right, where they've finished top 8 again in all but 2 of these tournaments, and even in the tournaments where they finished outside of it, really good wins on people like JJ and Microwave. Like they're fine. I think they know in all